Good day. My name is Normita Piambil, and our lesson for today is the Divine Comedy. So before we start, let me introduce to you the author of the poem, which is Dante Alighieri. So he was born in Florence in Italy between May 21 to June 20, 1265, and he died on September 13 to 14, 1321 at Ravenna, Italy. Not sure about the cause, but some speculates that it is because of malaria. So he was an Italian poet, prose writer, literary theorist, moral philosopher, and political thinker. He is best known for the monumental epic poem La Commedia, later named La Divina Commedia or the Divine Comedy. So the poem, The Divine Comedy, is about the journey of the author himself towards God. It has three parts: the Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. So each part consists of 33 cantos. Such division reflects the medieval theology specific to Christianity. So the purpose of the Divine Comedy was to show people the horrors their soul would go through if they did not obey God's laws and did not live their lives righteously. So as Dante was on his regaining his path, he was approached by his co-poet Virgil and offered him a chance to see hell, purgatory, and paradise, and what are in there. How could people attain such a reward after life, and also how people would suffer the life hard after. So, Inferno is the first part of the Divine Comedy, in when Dante and Virgil came in front of the hell's door, and Dante saw a sign which said, "Give up hope, you who enter." They did not enter yet, but already heard awful screams, curses, and cries. They saw a big crowd of souls running in panic over a river. They were the ones that were lazy and only thought about themselves in their life. Now they were chased by the beasts and hornets. So Dante and Virgil finally got to the river Acheron, where the miserable souls were waiting to be transferred to the other side of Charon, the ferryman. When he saw Dante, who was alive, Charon got mad and denied to take him to the other side. Virgil calmed him down, saying that Dante's arrival was God's wish. So suddenly the ground started shaking and Dante passed out. He woke up on the other side. So Dante woke up in the first circle. So hell has 9 circles. So the first circle is the limbo. So the first circle consists not of sinners, but people who are not baptized. Either they lived before Christ when baptized and not yet spread, or they never got baptized. So they reside in a castle with 7 gates, symbols of the 7 virtues. Technically, it is an inferior form of heaven where pagans are stuck and punished for eternity. So here in the first circle, Dante and Virgil meet many Greek and Roman philosophers, poets, and artists such as Homer, Ovid, Socrates, Cicero, and even Julius Caesar. So Virgil is one of them, which he explains in the following quotes. So the second circle has more traditional appearance of hell. It is dark, full of screaming noises and suffering. Near the entrance to the second circle stands Minos, a huge beast who decides where souls should be sent for torment. So the second circle holds people who were lustful throughout their lives. They are punished by strong winds blown over them, throwing them back and forth. These winds symbolize the restlessness and instability of people guilty of lust. Dante and Virgil noticed many people of Greek and Roman antiquity, mythology, and history, such as Cleopatra, Tristan, and Helen of Troy. Among other sinners punished for lust, they meet the souls of Paulo and Francisca da Rimini, a couple condemned to hell for their adultery and numerous love affairs. So the third circle is the gluttony. In the third circle of hell, Dante and Virgil encounter souls whose sin is gluttony. A worm monster, Cerberus, watches over them. They are punished with icy, slushy rain that pours all over them without stopping. They are not permitted to stand, so the slushy water covers their entire body as they lie. The slushy rain is a symbol of personal destruction and the inability to stop eating. People who are in their circle inferno have a weak will and cannot resist the earthly pleasures of indulgent foods and drinks. Here, the protagonist meets the soul of Shako, his political opponent from Florence. So the fourth circle of Inferno is guided by the Pluto, a Roman god of underworld who is also regarded as the god of wealth. Here, the sinners are divided into two groups: those who hoard, those who hoarded their possessions, and those who spent sumptuously. Their punishment is to push very heavy weight up a mountain, mostly boulders which symbolize their lust for never-ending money and possessions. There, Dante recognized many people, and he familiar with such as glirmen, popes, and cardinals, all of whom have been greedy throughout their lifetime. So the fifth circle is anger. Dante and Virgil encounter people who are guilty of wrath and fury. Those found guilty of being angry and impatient are immersed in the river Styx, or simply are forced to fight among each other on its surface. They girdle the water of the river, struggle and drown. The water is made up of the black toxic liquid and they are left there suffer. Dante encountered another political enemy of his, Filipino Philip Argente, who confiscated his possessions when he was banished from Florence. He tried to climb up into a boat but get punished away. So the sixth circle is heresy. People who have contrary opinions to Christian beliefs. They light anthems that burn them alive. Dante talks with Farinetta degli Uberti, a political leader and his contemporary who did not believe in God. He also sees Epicurus, Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, and Pope Anastasius II. The seventh circle is the violence. The passage to the seventh circle is backed by a Minotaur, half man, half bull. Virgil insults him, and the Minotaur bursts into a violent outrage, letting Dante and Virgil sneak past him. The seventh circle of the hell of Dante Inferno is divided into three rings. Nisos is a centaur who carries the protagonist through the first ring. In this circle, they see a forest inhabited by harpies, mythological creatures with birds' bodies and women's heads. Dante tears of a branch from a tree that shrink in horror and pain. The tree turns out to be the soul of Pierre de la Vilga. He ended his life because he was accused of conspiracy against the emperor. They blinded him to the treason and threw him into jail where he killed himself. He explained that all the souls who commit suicide are kept in the seventh circle and because trees, their leaves are eaten by harpies which cause the trees a lot of pain. So the circle is divided up into thin bolgias, dinchases with bridges between them that are placed around the circular well. So Malakota is the leader of who guard the entrance to the eighth circle of the hill. He lies and deceives both the poet and Virgil by telling them that there are bridges in the circle and they have nothing to worry about. Nonetheless, the path is very dangerous. Each Volgia has different kind of people who sin is fraud. This circle is made up of a lake. The sinner here are submerged in ice, only their heads stick out. Dante sees Voca Delge Abate, a Florentine traitor, who is so ashamed of his sins. He does not want to tell Dante his name at first. As Dante and Virgil proceed through the lake, they see the giant figure of Lucifer also stuck in ice. Lucifer is the prince of hell. He has 3 mouths, and each of them he holds a sinner, Judas, Brutus, and Caesarius. So the second part of the Divine Comedy is the Purgatory. So thus, at the beginning of the second part of the Divine Comedy, Dante and Virgil find themselves at the dawn of a new day. They stand at the shore and see a boat arrives. On the boat, they are souls brought by an angel who will climb Mount Purgatory along with Dante to rid themselves of sins and proceed to the heaven. Dante cannot waste any time, but he is forced to spend the night outside of the Purgatory with other souls who, unlike him, cannot travel at night. Dante falls asleep and he wakes up. Virgil tells him that Saint Lucia helped him and carried him straight to the gates of Purgatory. In Purgatory, they have 7 terraces to journey through before they enter. An angel to put 7 pieces on Dante's forehead. These correspond to the 7 deadly sins. The angel says that every time a terrace of a sin is surpassed, a P will be removed. So the first terrace is of pride. There, Dante and Virgil see penitent carry heavy weight of the mountain of humility to cure them of their pride. The second terrace is dedicated to envy. The envious penitents they are treated by having their eyelid so shut with iron wire. Voices shout examples of punish envy to intensify the effects. So the third race has to do with wrath. The penitent here are treated with black smoke that gets into their eyes and make them blind. So the fourth race is the slothful. They are punished by running without stopping or any rest. The fifth race, they punish greedy and avaricious souls. They punish are tied by their feet and arms, face down underground, in order to rid themselves of their sins. They must shout examples of poverty and generosity. So the sixth race is dedicated to gluttony. Here, penitents clean their souls by experiencing extreme hunger and thirst. So the last race is the last, where the penitents work in flames and shout out examples of chastity. So the last part of the Divine Comedy is the heaven. So when Dante went into purified from his sins, after he had waken up, he found himself in a garden full of flowers, and there it was always spring. Soon Beatrice appeared, a beautiful woman and symbol of God's words. She will be with Dante instead of Virgil because he is the voice of human reason. As pure creatures, they started rising towards God. The path was leading them through 9 spheres that revolved around the world. So the first sphere is the moon. Beatrice explains to Dante the structure of the universe. She says that the moon is the home for souls and broke their vows. Their words lack in courage and cannot be trusted. The second sphere is the Mercury. There, there Dante and Beatrice meet Justinian, who explained the history of ancient Rome. This sphere is situated too close to the sun. It represents those who did good deeds for fame and glory. The third sphere is Venus. Dante encountered Charles Martel of Anjou. He talks to Dante about the importance of societal diversity in improving its functions by the inclusion of people with different backgrounds. The fourth sphere is the sphere of the sun. So there, Saint Thomas, along with another 11th souls, explained to Dante that the importance of not judging hostility and being aware of prudence. The fifth heaven sphere is Mars. It has to do with warriors who died for their faith in God. There Dante meets Sacragiado, who tells him about the novel past of Florentines, and Dante mentions is delivering all the knowledge he had gained on his journey to Florence and its netizen. So the sixth pair is Jupiter. It is the place of the kings who display justice. A giant eagle speaks to Dante of divine justice and rulers of the past such as Constantine and Trajan. The seventh level of heaven is the sphere of Saturn. It is dedicated to those who live by temperance and pray vigorously all their lives. He witnessed people who climb up and down a golden ladder. Here, Dante meets Saint Peter Damian, who lectures him on corruption of clergy and predestination. They discuss the moral discipline, decline of the institute of the church. So the eighth level is called the fixed stars. Here, Dante and Beatrice find the Virgin Mary and biblical characters such as Adam, John, Peter, and James. They explain to Dante the competence of heaven and Eden. So the ninth sphere is known as the premium mobile. It is the controlled by God specifically and therefore effect of the lower spheres accordingly. It is the place where angels live. Beatrice explained to Dante the story of the creation of the universe in angels' lives. They slowly answered of Ephrian, the highest place in heaven. Once they get there, go. Okay, so that's the end of the poem, The Divine Comedy. So it has the three parts, the hell, purgatory, and the heaven. So the main theme of the Divine Comedy is the spiritual journey of a man through a life. In this journey, he learns about the nature of sin and its consequences and comes to the avoid it after understanding its nature and how it corrupts the soul and draws man away from God.